Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for October 5th, Tuesday, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. We will be having a Time for Change call tomorrow night, Wednesday at 9 p.m. We're going to be talking about the state of the planet, what has transpired with the dark and the light, and where we're at, and where we're going. During this transition of the planet, unprecedented, it's time for all of us to release any mental, emotional, or physical inner wounds that we are holding on to, so that we are more open and receptive to our divinity within us. So it would be a good idea for today is to redirect your attention towards the most soft, gentle, loving, healing energy you can imagine. Could be anything. And whenever you focus on it, let yourself soften and welcome the relaxing, healing vibrations throughout the body. And this gentleness will help you heal in more ways than you know. Imagine a soft, healing energy is penetrating every cell of your body throughout the day today. And notice how your face changes in the mirror when you are focusing on this healing energy. Then whatever suffering is occurring in your life, remember that it's simply there because you keep dwelling on it. And I know it's tough at times where, well, that's easier said than done because of what's happening and what's going on with my life. But it's there because each of us keep dwelling on it. It's the only reason it's there. If we stop entertaining these thoughts, or when we stop entertaining these thoughts, and realize that we are the masters, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. We are the masters. And we are the masters who are always manifesting our experience of reality. So it's always good. Some people visual, so you write down and release everything you think is wrong with your life. And as you write it, feel it releasing from your system and proclaim that the opposite thought is now true. Or use a balloon visualization where you fill the balloon up with all of these things that you believe is wrong with your life. Once you stop focusing on what's wrong and start thinking about what is right, your suffering will end. It's an automatic. Throughout today, practice letting go of trying to fix yourself or figure out what's wrong and focus only on what's right with it. Practice formulating thoughts that are constructive rather than destructive today. Think only about what inspires you, excites you, and makes you happy. Your thoughts happen for you, not to you. Our thoughts always happen for us, not to us. You can spend your entire day focusing on what an amazing and magnificent life that you have. And it's just up to us. People always ask how to raise your vibration. How do you do that? I'm going to share it with you. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for this time, the first time. T.S. Eliot. When we are all fully committed to something in our lives, the all-powerful universe comes behind us to help it manifest in the most mysterious ways. So I'm going to share some powerful resources of commitments that will literally transform your life. By taking each one sincerely and not too seriously, you'll find that you enjoy the amazing process of spiritual enlightenment and inner transformation. Since all of us are programmed like biocomputers to think, act, and behave in a certain way that is not always of the highest frequency, we always have the option of changing that pattern through our conscious intent and free will. We can tell our minds and bodies to follow a new program that will show up in a multitude of positive ways. So let's go through these 12 commitments. I am only taking inspired actions in my life. I only do that which inspires me and makes me feel happier, lighter, and more free. I always replace worry with wonder, and this will make my life wonderful. I immediately cancel and replace heavy thoughts that arise like I should, could, would, have to, must, need to, I've got to. Instead of these heavy thoughts, I think and feel thoughts like I want to, I get to, I'd like to, I'd love to, I can, I will, I am. I accept and appreciate myself exactly as I am, no matter what the situation or experience is that I'm going through. I explore each experience in this life, especially those I have trouble with a gentle, compassionate, conscious, childlike curiosity. I am independent of the good and bad opinions of others. I remain centered, at a peace, and at peace with myself and the world, even when others are not. I think and speak only positive, empowering things about others and about myself in a way they can easily feel and understand. I exercise, meditate, eat healthy, and get enough sleep at least 6 days a week. I create loving, long-term relationships that are fulfilling. I always keep my heart open to fully experience every person and situation that comes my way. I have healthy boundaries with the demands of others and can simply and effortlessly say no when I feel taken advantage of or disempowered in any way. I am 100% committed to these amazing life transformational commitments for the next 90 days. Your essence, your essential joy is so huge that it flows in every direction. Namaha. Sometimes we forget that the most important place we can turn for answers is inside ourselves. Most of us are in the habit of outside ourselves. The outer world tends to captivate us, tantalize us, and coerce us to lose our inner direction with its materialistic importance and superficial psychodramas. We can become emotionally captured by these experiences and feel completely disconnected from the safe, soothing resource of our inner world. The mind can become so involved in the external that we fall blind to the truth of the radiant sacred beings we all actually truly are. The most enlightening path to liberation is the one that is the most sustainable and always available from within. This approach has stopped the search in the outer world for real fulfillment and knows there is no greater source of true satisfaction than the one that exists within. I believe that it's the necessary searching of the mind which causes us not to see. We are not seeing the divine sacred beings we truly are because we are following the mind's perpetual wanting, yearning, and desiring habit. The more time we give to appreciating what is in our lives, accepting and loving the people who share our lives with us, the wanting program that had caused internal blindness slowly starts to fade out of our lives. As long as the mind is directed outwards, our energy continues to flow away from our center, away from deep inner peace and the stillness where all real sustainable answers to this life are found. The truly liberated being is the one who has chosen to give up the perpetual search for happiness out there and lives only at the source of their pure spiritual essence, which is always available within each and every single one of us. When we turn pure spiritual essence, when we turn our attention to the real source itself, the energetic blackboard behind our inner world, the essential tools of love, thought, and creativity become the real gold. When we discover the possibility of stopping the mind from its addiction to needing something outside itself to be satisfied, we discover the greatest world of freedom and empowerment has always been inside. Where there is awareness, there is the potential for healing and spiritual freedom. In each moment, we can become aware where we are focusing our attention. Is it now on my inner world or my outer world? Eventually, with enough awareness, we see they are the same, and there is only one world. However, the mind is very conditioned and accustomed to perceiving a separation, focusing on the outer world for the causes of manifestation and fulfillment. It doesn't want to take 100% responsibility for the uncomfortable feelings that can be hiding in its basement. When we bring more awareness to where the source of the mind is coming from, where our outer world is truly manifesting from inside ourselves, we slowly start to see we have total responsibility over the manifestations in our lives. By not judging, but simply accepting what we find on the journey towards the source of all thought, we eventually discover how to relax into this divine responsibility and bathe in the light of our being. The source of our spiritual essence begins to take precedence over the mind, and we relax into a deeper life experience that is full of unlimited potentiality and freedom. Perhaps the most wonderful thing about this universe is that it is perpetually benevolent. It always gives us exactly what we need, especially when we don't realize what it is we truly do need. If we are only directing our attention towards the outer world, we burn out. We burn out. The universe leads us to retreat back into our inner world to reboot. The body and mind are programmed to find balance, peace, and healing. At some point, the pendulum of this life will swing us back to stillness on its own accord. The stillness is the doorway to our ultimate creativity and God-given manifestation responsibility. This is the moment our real spiritual journey begins, and the unfulfilling, never-ending path to satisfying the ego comes to an end. Be always feeling and reflecting on the real being. Be that and cling close to it. Let your quest be constant and sustained until you catch the self and thereby find eternal happiness. From Ramana Maharishi. One of the greatest truths that you may find thus far on the path to inner liberation is this: the soul, or spiritual being, who you actually are, is so huge, all-consuming, and deeply enlightening that ultimately it doesn't matter. If you get whatever your ego wants or doesn't want, your mind and ego will always be trying to want something that it thinks will finally bring it to being completely fulfilled and satisfied. The problem is that it only knows how to want. It doesn't know how to relax and rest in having or pure being. However, the rabbit hole goes even deeper here, for just recognizing the incessant desiring mind habit is not the final answer to freedom here. The real freedom comes from knowing that when we do get whatever we want, we will also get what we don't want. Whenever we manifest any desire, we always get both. There is no single payoff from achieving any desire in this world that does not also have a cost to it. For example, we finally meet our dream partner or soulmate, or later we find out that they have this deeply annoying habit that we cannot stand. Or when we get to buy our dream car, we realize it also comes with an insanely high monthly insurance rate and costly maintenance fees. The weekend drinker who loves to party always forgets about the horrible hangover experience that will painfully consume his or her life the next morning. If we discipline ourselves with daily exercise and get super strong and fit, we may only later discover we are becoming super stiff and tight from not integrating deep stretching exercises as well. Even if we think we have found our perfect dream life, there's always going to be a need for a feeling of the gratitude about it all, to keep the mind happy, peaceful, and at a higher vibration so we can evolve and manifest an even more amazing experience of this life next year. The understanding may initially make life feel hopeless. Yet, I assure you, it is the doorway to absolute freedom beyond it all. Always getting both what we want and what we don't want is one of the most enlightening and deeply liberating spiritual paths to explore. When we realize that this life is always going to be a break-even, win-lose experience with every desire we go after, we start to relax about the whole game and drop into something deeper inside. In the beginning, this dropping in can feel like apathy, thinking, what's the point of it all if we always get what we want and what we don't want and never only just the goodies? Yet this feeling will soon fall away when we see that the nature of desire, not having, is pure suffering, and that inner peace with desire manifests our desires much more easily than the great ride of life becomes enjoyable along the way. When we understand that every single time we manifest any desire, we get both what we want and don't want, we stop becoming so attached to making our desires manifest. We stop trying to manipulate and control this life so as to get it to flow our way. We stop being so greedy, needy, and full of selfish, egoic agendas that there arises this feeling of sweet surrender to the grand totality of this life, the majesty of our being. In the simple awareness of this profound truth, we gently begin to relax into our spiritual nature and thus become a more powerful, manifesting magnet for everything our heart desires. Life's problems may be complicated, yet the answers are always very simple. Life's problems may be complicated, but the answers are always very simple. This universe is full of mystery and paradox. When we give up on wanting something, maybe you've experienced this, we become a stronger magnet for receiving it. Whenever we give up on wanting something, we become a stronger magnet for receiving it. It seems backwards, yet it happens every time. When we relinquish attachment to something, that something just wants to fall into our lap. I find the most enlightened approach to dealing with attachment to a desire is knowing that once the desire is manifested, we must be emotionally prepared to receive the opposing negative byproduct as well. This doesn't mean we cannot or should not celebrate the attainment of anything in an outrageous way. In fact, it's best that we give it our all, do a total let go, and fall deep into appreciation, because this increases our joy vibration and ability to growing stronger as a powerful manifesting magnet. And as we let go into the total full self-expression, we can rise even higher into ecstatic bliss, because we know that very soon the annoying negative flip side to things will arise and bring everything back to an even, neutral balance. Life is like a gambling casino where you always win whatever you bet. If you bet 5, you get 5 back each time. There is always an even outcome, a perfect balance to life, which makes everything fair in the end. Karmically, we also get whatever we put into our lives. Some say life is unfair, yet life actually is completely fair. Everything balances itself out in the end. We simply choose to look for the rainbow when we're drowning in the rainstorm. There's always a brilliant wave of light underneath every dark undertow of fear. This universe was set up this way so we could remain neutral, relaxed in the awareness that it is at the center of our being, which subsequently is also the center of the entire universe. The trick to this life is to be continually alert to the new, because nothing is ever as it seems. We can think a person is a certain rigid way our whole lives, only at the end to realize that they had a hidden flexible part that we could never see. It is how we see things that makes them what they are. Our perception of people colors and taints them, yet does not come close to the truth of their grand totality. Everyone is a permanent grand mystery to be experienced and explored. When we hold this understanding as sacred, our relationships and communications with others unfold in a much more enlightening way. Once we become conscious about this perpetual balanced nature of duality, the incessant desiring game will completely subside. Then we are eased into a nesting area of true relaxation within our hearts and lives. Here we can experience the grace and joy of our divinity, the healing quality of our being. We can discover real freedom, our true essence, and our essential nature. Observe the mind. When thoughts come in, ask, to whom did these thoughts come to? Always watch, witness, and observe. Do not get caught in thought. Just surrender. Robert Adams. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I am sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax our bodies. Totally relaxation, total. Letting go of the attachments, the expectations, the wonder, the worry, the fear, the negativities, the stress, the anxieties. Just let them go. It's like when you want something, you desire something, and you intend it, then you let it go. You forget about it. Seriously. That's when it'll happen. It won't happen 9 times out of 10 when you're fixated on it, constantly focused on it, and constantly wanting it. That's trying to force the universe to your will. That's dangerous. sense, the center of you is the universe. So the body, do you think the body is any different than anything else when it comes to stress, fear, anxiety, worry? Where do those come from? Those are thoughts. They come from the ego mind. They are sent to our heart mind. We take them, we move them, their energy. We move them into form. We create them into reality. So we create every step we take in this life. That it doesn't mean we know it at all, but that's what happens. We create every step in this life that we take. And a lot of the times it's unconscious. So we think it's coming from somewhere, or it's coming at us from somewhere. It sure as heck isn't coming from within us. It's got to be coming from somewhere else, outside of us. And it isn't. It's within us. So it's just like all these pressures, feelings, and thoughts about the worries and everything. You can let them go because you created them. When you say to yourself, I created these. Interesting. Why did I create these? For what purpose? That's when you start looking deep within. That's how you start mastering relaxation of the body. This body you're in. And once you've attained that, and you can visualize it, you can use the hammock in between the trees. You can use a roaring fire on a winter night. Anything that you have experienced that completely moves that body of yours into total relaxation. It's not interrupted. You're not thinking. You're not entertaining the ego mind. You've left them alone, and you're just being. And we all experience it. We really don't savor it much because then the ego mind comes in. You better get going. You can't lay around like this forever. You've got to get this done, that done, this done, that done. That's the ego mind. And when we do this with the body, we move into the now. Because we're focused on our breath. And the breath is the now. Isn't it amazing that the breath that we take so much for granted is so omnipotently powerful? It can fold the body into total relaxation and peace. It can assist you to master the ego mind. And every single breath we take is sacred because this body staves itself through the God, the source within it, 24/7, and the God is what powers it to do so. So every time that, and we all do this because we're in a habit of it. None of us are exempt from it, but we could be focused on something. And then we find ourselves almost like nowhere, but away from the now, in different thoughts that aren't even ours. So when we experience this is when we become and understand consciously, through gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, 24/7 deep, eternal gratitude, we recognize the fact that, here I go. My thoughts have caused me to move out of the now. So I'll focus on my breath, and I'll be in the now. Every time I focus on my breath, I am in the now. You could be doing this in a conversation, you start wandering off. We've done that too, haven't you? Someone's talking with you, and you wander off, just out of the clear blue. You're not really thinking, but you're not really there, so to speak. You're somewhere else. And then they'll ask you, what do you think about that? And you come back in, and you don't remember a word they were saying to you the whole time. And it's almost like a seduction at times that this happens with us. But it's about us mastering it. We are not the body. We are not the name. We are not the character and personality. are the God within it, within that body, but it is the body that has the mind ego. The character, the personality comes. And then what you view on the surface is what you assume to be, which it isn't. It is the God within each and every single one of us. So it isn't difficult to understand is that whenever the ego mind gets you flustered or out of whack, focus on your breath. Listen to your breath. Every breath you take in easily through the nose and easily out the mouth. Focus on your breath. This is what moves us into meditation. Now we know these bodies, well, we know them to a certain extent. And we look in the body and we see these chakras, which means wheel. So these wheels of light, 7 of them from our tailbone to the top of our head, are etherical spiritual energy, just like we are the gods that we are. So we move through those. And we literally branch out and saturate the entire biological, physical form that we're in, the body. And we are connected with everything about that body, all the way to the quantum quark. Every cell. That's why when you start learning to talk to your cells to heal the body, miraculous things take place. Every structure of your body is in constant communication with you, the God. It is discovering that by going within, not going without. So we know that our soul, the God, the pure consciousness in these bodies, comes into the body, starts up the body, everything starts functioning, breath. And we know that the soul, the God that we are, is heaven. And we know that the body is earth. And so we are heaven on earth, literally, not figuratively, literally. And every step we take, those of us who are somewhat consciously aware, shine our light. And our light is everywhere. Everywhere. 360 degrees, saturating and flooding everything. And this light that emanates from the God within each and every one of us is pure, deep, eternal love. And we're flooding this planet 24/7. Now we know that there are parts of us, the God, that are asleep. You could try everything you desire to get those parts to wake up, but they're asleep. So we focus on the parts of us that are awake. And that includes, and it's basically all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And that is all of the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. The ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. All the off-worlders, the galactics, the celestials. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Everything. And they come in the gugaplexes. One gugaplex fills this universe with not even a square inch of sacred space to spare. and they come in trillions of gigaplexes from trillions of universes. And understand, we're all one. It doesn't matter if they're a million light years away. We are still one. There's no separation throughout all existence in creation. There never has been. That is the illusion. The body's different. The gods, one. So light energy beings on this planet they come in shapes, color, sizes, forms, and configurations that we don't see because of the eyes that we have with these bodies. We only see 1% of one is. But we're familiar with some. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur. Many, many, many more. But they're there. All the galactics, the off-worlders, the celestials. Again, we're only familiar with a smidgen of them. Yet, the gods within those bodies, we are all one. And the ones that we're kind of familiar with, the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the feline, the Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Reptilian, Draco, Golden Pyramid, Avian. That particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the archangels, their civilization have vibrated at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them like we see each other. But we do meet with them, and we come across them. We don't always, say, wow, that was an angel. We just have a feeling, and then other times we say, wow, that was an angel. And that's bliss. And there's always a message delivered to us through all these lifetimes. And it's delivered in so many different ways. But it just boils down to this. Isn't it absolutely magna-glorious to be alive in these bodies, to taste, to smell, to see, to cry, to laugh, to be in joy, to be in sadness, to be in anger, to be in peace? We don't get that when we are the gods in our true form out of these bodies. None of it. They can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands. Because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. So if you want them to surround you in the tens of thousands, all you got to do is say, ask, and they'll surround you. Period. And that is bliss. Now, the ascended masters, they have mastered physical form, ascending into physical form, out of physical form, holding pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical form, are mastering physical form, creating our experiences to perfect our creation. And we're all gathered, arm in arm, hand in hand, in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy, is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God force, love light, energy, the God swords that we are within these bodies. It is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. And it is flooding this planet 24/7, eternally, never ending. And all we do is finally discover who and what we are, to know that this love is all that there is, all that we'll ever be, ever, beyond, and forever. It is the most powerful in all existence and beyond existence. And it's flooding everyone, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. We begin to ascend above the planet, and as we do, we're immediately met with a massive ocean of glitter. It's reflecting everywhere. It's like a laser light show in the trillions, uncountable, multicolored. And it's like a big, huge ballroom glass ball reflecting all the light, except it's 1,000,000,000 times more intense. And with all of us gathered in the hundreds of millions, billions beyond, we notice that the reflective point are little tiny microscopic mirrors. And we enter them, and we discover that all of us, and all that there is, ever has been, ever, beyond, and forever, are learning and teaching each other. We're either learning or teaching or learning, or both. We learn from ourselves, we learn from others. Any life, any God form, anywhere, throughout existence and beyond. So it doesn't matter, whatever comes into your sight, a bug, a tree, a leaf, an animal of any kind, any life, we are learning. And it's interactive because we teach that, it teaches us. We learn from that. And it learns from us. Just imagine the expanse that we have at our fingertips to learn. Martial arts was created by watching life. That's just one of them. We are immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all that we are the power of healing these bodies, and anything for that matter. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with a white fire armor, nothing like that of Earth, of this planet, way beyond. This white fire armor protects us 24/7. It does not fade, it does not weaken, it does not become seduced, tricked, manipulated at all. So no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, they can't maintain their form around us because of our frequency. Same with demon attachments, demon possessions, any attachments. Yet, only you have the power. That if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, consciously or unconsciously, through anger, hate, fear, greed, manipulation, dishonesty, envy, hurry, fear, stress, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you do decide to do this, then all kinds of things are possible. Demon attachments, possessions, lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, all kinds of interesting things. If we do, then we're immediately met with purple transmuting flame and the violet ray. This is a double column of light that we created. The purple transmuting flame, we created it to remind us all that we can bring it in. We can transmute all of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. Immediately following is the violet ray. This is a column of light that we created to remind ourselves that we can bring in the violet ray, cleanse and purify the area where the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods in these bodies, that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the rain, the rainbows. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are the trees, the forests, the soils. We are the mountains. Sunsets, sunrises, we are everything. And everything is us, the gods that we are. So the next time you do see a sunset or a sunrise, or this time of year, changing of the colors of the trees, or an ocean front, or a starry lit night sky, it is you. And see, when you view it, you don't say, oh, isn't that beautiful? You go, that's me, the God that I am. And see how you feel when you acknowledge that. It's astronomical. Because when you say, oh, isn't that beautiful, you're missing the whole understanding. You're the beauty. You're the majesty. You're the God. You're the bliss, the peace, the happiness. It is you. It is each and every single one of us. It always has been. It always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And it is for us to choose to discover it, the God within us. We continue to ascend above this planet. Some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above it. Why do we do this? Well, because we can. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline-like tower. It's humongous. It's larger than the solar system. It's endless. We created it. In the center of the column, we see this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere, we see this golden white bowl of light, and it is surrounded by numerous multicolored rings of light. And we notice that it's sending out an uninterruptible, it's like a cloud of electrical energy, a sparkling, glittering that just absorbs into us, through us, around us, above us, and below us. And then we discover that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest,
And the purest of the purest, purest, eternal love. Then comes in the rings gratitude, peace, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, great prosperity, great abundance. And then we discover that it is a reflection of the gods within these bodies that we truly are. It is us. At the top of this crystalline light tower, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees. What is the golden ocean? It is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. It's what we're made of, the gods that we are. And it's flooding everything, everyone, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, nonstop, eternally. At the top, we watch as this ocean of deep eternal love, this golden ocean, continually embraces us all. And we all hold the essence of this golden ocean, and we are drops of this golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We created this sphere nearing 4 years ago. It holds 1,600 of our meditations in perpetual motion. All of us awake, consciously aware that we're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and peace. And all these meditations, they don't disintegrate, they don't end, they don't weaken, they intensify, and they expand, flooding everything, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, not only this planet, on it, in it, above it, below it, but everywhere. Everywhere. The mind is always busy focusing on something. It is stuck in an automatic and unconscious perpetual shift of attention. It has been busy your whole life and desperately needs a vacation. You exercise for today is to not focus on anything. Get a timer and for 3 minutes practice having no focus at all. To prepare yourself for this feat, it is best you sit down, lean against a wall, relax every muscle in your body. Once your body is at ease, simply experience your own presence. If your mind starts to dream, think, wander, reset the clock and start over. Do not push your attention onto or off of anything. The mind cannot focus on not focusing. Just be in a deep let go and surrender to your own presence. Be completely present to the presence inside of you. Surrender to the continuous experience of your presence, and the universe, this universe, will provide each and every one of us with everything we've been searching for our entire lives. Once we stop focusing completely for a few solid minutes, we will empty ourselves out and we will be filled with the highest possible awareness we can imagine. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out.
Take an easy breath in through the nose, and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. There is no need to be stuck. The same old stagnant patterns of our minds are a delusion. We are not stuck anywhere. Wake up. We are the divine beings of God. Make the commitment to ignore that old path of lacking money, love, empowerment, and freedom. Don't you already feel hopeless and pathetic enough? For today, practice saying yes to the experience of having access to love, joy, and total freedom. Choose to feel free in your work or lack of work. Choose to feel free in your amazing relationships or your lack of amazing relationships. Choose to feel free in your health or your lack of health. Commit yourselves to feeling free. You are free to feel, think, imagine, and believe anything you want. Just claim it today. This is your freedom. You are free to say out loud right now, I am the God force, powerful, alive, and free. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and into the following morning. And we will return here, October 6th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, to continue our Global Guided Meditation call, and 9 p.m. to continue our Time for Change call.